All right, welcome in today. We've got PMP Grizzly. And yes, it's a beast of a knife with a D2 blade that's super thick, 1/4 inch thick, and you can get it in flame titanium as well, as blue or blacked out or regular gray, and got a striking point here on the end, lanyard hole as well. You got these fullers in the blade, big old hoss. And oh yeah, you might ask, can you flick the knife out just using the fuller? Of course you can, just like that. So you've got a pry bar. I think that's what this is. It's a pry bar. So there you go, D2 blade. Let's see if we can get some cutting done. Okay, it's reasonable out of the box. You can get this on White Mountain Knives. This flame titanium's $350, made by Max Ace. There you go, there's your information on it. And here's your information, 12.2 ounces. A 1/4 inch thick blade, limited production. They made 200 of these, that's it. So when they're gone, they're gone. Here you go, overall length 9 7/16 inches. So basically 9.5 inches. Handle height, blade height, D2, hollow and flat grind on the blade. Check it out. It's a big hoss. Let's put a tape to it. Okay, so we got almost 9.5 inches. Up here with this striking end, we do have 9.5 inches, which is 24 centimeters. And we've got really over 4 inch blade and about 105 millimeter. And just to reiterate the blade thickness, 6.51 millimeters. That's 0.256. Thickness overall is not really all that incredibly thick. 16.3 at 0.64. So, yeah, I mean, some, but not terribly bad. So 0.64. Definitely fills the hand. It's got enough height to the handle to do that. The ergos are fine. And it's great for big hands. I've still got room here. Feels good. You got a choil here. And this is a flipper. You know, the Beast, so this is kind of called the Beast 2. But the Beast was not a flipper. It had thumb studs. And then there were a couple made that didn't have thumb studs either. But this one, no thumb studs. Now, design flows back right into the bolster here and here, right at the end. Pretty good use of the available length of the handle there. So no problem there. This is centered. No blade play, no lock rock. We will take this apart because I'm going to show you some things, you know, all the internals of this knife, and then a few things that concern me. There's my Paladin. And the Paladin's a pretty good sized knife on its own, but not one compared to the Grizz. And how about the Bug Out? Nah, get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, by the way, you can actually carry this one. This at 12.2 ounces. Yeah, maybe not so much. Comes with a steel card here, and it goes blade thickness, fat, weight, heavy. You get that? Okay. Comes in a box like this, and then we'll weigh it up. There it is. There's the box. Got some padding in here. And this little card and everything, just like that. Come on. There we go. Snaps together. Got you a little lanyard on the end of that thing. Hold on to that. Let's get the scale in here and put this on the scale. There it goes. It says PMP Grizzly. It's numbered. So let's weigh it up. 12.25 ounces. 347.5 grams. That's a whole lot of knife right there. Now, I mean, I've got it set up to where it's pretty guillotine-ish, but then it makes it pretty functional as well, from being able to flip, that kind of thing, because it's on washers, not on bearings. So I would have liked it to be on bearings, and I'd like to have changed a few other things about it, but here we go. Like I said, ergos are good. It was reasonably sharp out of the box, and regardless of that, I mean, I can sharpen it if I want. It's D2 steel. It's not a super steel. It's not that difficult to do that too. So that's not a big concern of mine. Fit and finish is pretty good. Max Ace does a good job on knives. So, yeah, that doesn't concern me. But I was thinking, and I don't know about you, if you're keeping up with PMP, but I thought this version 2 was going to be thinner and lighter. I thought it was going to be pretty much the exact same design, but I thought it was going to be thinner and lighter. I didn't think it was going to be the exact same knife, just in a flipper. So to me, that was a bit disappointing, because that's a lot to carry. I mean, that's just a lot to carry. Hold on, let's get this going. So 1.86 inches. So, you know, like a paramilitary 2 is 1.6 at the highest part. But, you know, this goes all the way up and down. You know, I mean, this is just going to be a lot of real estate in your pocket, and then thickness-wise as well. But then weight is just tremendous. So, and then let me see if I can get some thickness behind the edge. How close I can get here. So that's what I'm getting behind the edge right there. 0.03. 0.9. Yeah, oops. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So just in case you're interested. I mean, by no means is this a slicer. It's not a terribly functional blade in that regard. I mean, just think of a knife like this with a pretty flat grind all the way up. This is going to be a lot more functional for piercing and slicing. But that being said, this knife is, at this weight and this thickness, it's probably more novelty than anything else, unless you want to hack through some heavy material with it. And that's possible, I reckon. There's your stop. That's a big old thick stop, and you can see the bronze washers in there. But that's a big old blade stop. See how that wraps around there? Then you've got these screws here. This is a number 10 here. These are number 8s. But you got these screws on both sides of this stop. Now, and we'll take this apart. You'll be able to see the over travel stop, as you can see through here, etc. But the thing about these, and this is the way it was on the Beast, is these you can screw down even tighter, and when you do, I can't hardly open the knife, okay? So, I mean, this is So the problem is, it's not just about adjusting the pivot. It's about making sure these screws aren't too tightened down. Now, to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense because all the other knives I've ever dealt with, you know, have a, let me see if this has got, you know, it's got a blade stop, right? But it's not coming through. I don't have screws on the outside of here. Take a look at your titanium knives, your G10 knives, whatever. There's no adjustment here. They just fit in here. They have to be the correct length, of course, but they just fit in. Let me see if this one's the same way as well. There you go. Okay, and this has got steel liners as well that it's embedded in. And my Paladin, same thing. There's your stop right there. And it's in the liners because it's a liner lock. But if it's a frame lock, then it's in the sides of the knife and it doesn't show through the ends here. And the fact that these screws can come out of adjustment and then you've got to adjust them in coordination with this as well to get that pivot action the way you want, you know, it presents a bit more of a distraction than I care to do. It's still centered, thank God. So there you go. And one big thing, I was doing some cut testing on this when I first got it, just for fun, and I hit something going through here, and it felt funny, and I've kind of knocked it down now, but if you can see real close, you see what I'm looking at right there? Look right there. Yeah. That's where the blade collided with this pin, that first pin there. And when I take it apart, I'll show you how that pin, it's not embedded in the back spacer like the second one is. It sticks down below it. Problem is they didn't allow for enough clearance, so it hit that. I put the scratch on the blade, by the way, where you can see on that. A little bit with my diamond stone because I was just knocking down that deal. Kind of took a magnified picture here of, there's that in the back spacer, but here's where it hit. You need to think about these clearances. I mean, you could take a Dremel and take a little bit off of here because it's not hitting it by much, but it's enough that I'll probably have to really consider either taking a Dremel in here and kind of grinding away a bit of that, or probably really at this point just sharpening this back a little bit to where it won't touch. And that way it really won't, I won't have to get into the cosmetics of that. Just bring this back a bit. So I'll get that taken care of. And I brought that to the attention of Justin at White Mountain Knives and said maybe you ought to check the others, but I got a message from Patrick, you know, the owner of PMP Knives, and he said there weren't any other issues. So maybe this is just the one. Wouldn't that be a kick, right? The one that a knife reviewer gets is the one that got some interference issues. The balance on this knife, where does it balance? I can't find a good balance point. It must be about right here because blade heavy here, and it's right in here, really close. That's where the balance is. So right on top of this pin. That's probably not a bad thing. Take a look at it again. That's some stuff. And this one was supposed to, you know, book in at 350, but the others, and let me throw some pages at you, I mean, are 300. And, I had a viewer say that he did a little bit of, talking to Justin about pricing, and he ended up getting one. Here's your lockup. 20%. That may be about it right there. Check it out. Obviously, right hand tip up only. Once again, your lanyard hole through here, striking ability right through there. Okay, if we want to disassemble this, just check. I checked it with a number 8, and there was a lot of slop, and I'm going, oh, well, that's because it needs a bigger Torx. And there you go. There's a number 10. We're going to break it away from the back, I reckon. Oh, yeah. Okay. And there we go. These other screws are number 8s, and of course you have to take the screw out of the stop pin because it's got one there, which doesn't make much sense to me, but I would prefer it not. That way I only have one adjustment point on that pivot. All these screws look the same length, at least. There shouldn't be any confusion there. And here we go. Ooh, we go break it away, but we got to get it off of that. There we go. Equalize it off because it was kind of pressed up on here, which is nice to have tight tolerances. And there's your ceramic bearing for the detent, and there's your hardened steel insert and over travel stop, and it's got weight relieving on the inside, and this is the lock bar side. Of course, you've got a bronze washer here. There's your detent track, etc. Flip side, okay. And another bronze washer, and of course a D-shaped pivot here. So just remember that one of these sides is not going to turn, okay? Because it's got a D shape there, it's not going to turn when you try and disassemble it. So go for the easy side. Go for the easy side. So what do you think? There's been some weight relieving through this. And of course, this is your, spacer. That's a pretty close fit on that spacer too. So now that we got it cleaned out, it's pretty good. And, when I put this back together, just want to show you. Just wanted to make it obvious where we were when we were making an impact right here. See, this one's inside the spacer. This one's below it. And I guess they just didn't realize that that was going to be an issue. Not at least on this knife. This was an issue, but your knife, I don't know. Because I got a message from Patrick, and he's not the best with English, but I believe he was saying no other issues that he was aware of on the other knives. So maybe this is an isolated deal. I don't know. But there we go. I mean, it's easy to take apart and put back together. Nice bronze washers, D-shaped pivot. You know, you got all that kind of cool stuff. Just a little bit of juice on the detent track, you know. I don't really want to put a lot of lube on these bronze washers. I think I'm going to leave that alone. Put it back together. Call it good. Just like that. And it fits back together fine. Comes apart. Goes back together. I'm just not a big fan of them. Skate across the titanium. That'd be a great idea. I'm just not a big fan of this. Why? Why do I need a screw through there? And I'll tell you what, it makes it more difficult to adjust the action, because just tightening this will make that blade stick, not just this. So now you got to make sure this is right, and this is right, okay? Plus, you know, if this knife was thinner, lighter, I mean, let's just say 3.8 or 3.85 inch blade instead of 4.1. And then instead of 9.5 inches overall, let's say 8.9 or 8.8 inches overall. So just make it under 9. And then a liner lock with micarta scales. I like this. I like this design. I just think it needs to be a hell of a lot lighter. It needs to be under 6 ounces. And G10 or micarta. And if you're going to do something like that Max Ace Samurai, Max Ace, by the way, Samurai, with micarta scales, that was Bowler K110, and it was like $88. See, I think this would do well at or below $100 as a liner lock with micarta scales and like a K110 or a N690 or a 14C28N, or I don't know. I'm just querying myself on that. I just think I just try to imagine how I could make a knife a little bit more palatable, because I think just a lot of people, if you want a beast, okay, you got a beast. I mean, you definitely got the beast. But if you don't want a beast and you really like this design, then you got a no-go here. So and it goes together nicely. I mean, these screws are nice quality, hardware. It's been a long day, huh? Ooh, baby. Get in there. Okay, so, I mean, we're tightened down sufficiently, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how sufficiently we're tightened down there. And apparently, real sufficiently. Oh, I can't open this knife. Okay, well, I think we're going to back this one up for sure. Okay, see, I just gotta just finger tighten that. And I hossed on this too much, and I just used my bare hands. So that was scary, wasn't it? Okay. So once you set it the way you want, you may have to take some thread locker there, because that's just yeah, that's not really cinched down well enough to keep from backing out, I don't think. And then it's guillotine-ish, so it would only take, and it's reasonably centered. It wouldn't take much to give it a little bit of a drop, would it? Just ever so small amount. Of extra. Yeah, it makes it better. Okay. If you like a little bit of a drop. So there you go. I mean, if you love the beast and you want it to be a flipper, congratulations. I got your knife for you. Go to White Mountain Knives, click on it, argue with Justin on the price. I definitely did. So good luck. And you know what? There was only 200 of these made. So how many there are, I don't think Justin got a whole lot. So it probably won't take long for him to sell out. But if you like the beast, you just wanted to be a flipper, then you got it. Be careful when you first get it and check, to make sure it's not touching there. If it is, don't slam it shut. And go in and, if it is touching, you can either, sharpen the blade back a little bit, or you can knock some of that down, and you can make it work if you want to make it work. If not, you can just send it back. So I think I've done all I'm going to do damage-wise. Now it's just a matter of me sharpening that little tiny nick out of there, and I'll be good. So yeah, I'm good to go. I'm just going to sharpen it back a little bit, and I'll be fine. And it grows on you. It's fun, and after a while you get used to the heft. It's just carrying it is a bit impractical, but it's an impressive piece. So it'd be nice if maybe they'd get past the D2 craze on this, especially on a knife like this, and maybe think about something more stainless. D2, that's for knives like this. It's $50, right? D2, it's for knives like this. This is $50, etc. This sticker's at $3.50, and so it shouldn't be D2. Think it ought to be something else. Not necessarily M390, but it'd be nice if it was S30, S35, something like that. Like the fullers, like the design, like the concept. Do not like these. I would prefer multi-row ceramic bearings and none of this hootenanny. And then I could make a simple adjustment here on this D-shaped pivot, and bang, I'd have it dialed in. Okay, it's fat, it's heavy. Okay, get over it. That's the way it is. Would I like a model that's under 6 ounces that looks just like this and almost the same size, but not the same thickness? Yeah, I would actually. Yeah. So no, I'm good. I'm good with the design. And that flipper tab's not too intrusive either. So be what it may, I've got one, and you know what? I think I'm going to keep this dog. As much as I'm bitching and moaning about, Patrick's like, what? But you know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying I'm going to put up with it because I'm going to sharpen this back. I'm going to have it right. And it's just going to be a hoss and something I'm going to show people and scare people with. Yeah, baby. It's bad. We're out of here. Take care, my friends. It's the Beast 2. We call it the Grizz. And it is fat and it's heavy. And hey, that's what a Beast is. Take care. We love them knives. You guys stay sharp.